Hi, everyone. I'm Chelsea Higgins, Maxwell Higgins' oldest daughter. And I kind of planned out something that I wanted to say before I came. So, in the last 5 weeks of my granddad's life, he was in my house. And about 4 weeks ago, we were in my living room together, alone. And he was singing praises to God, of course. And I looked at him like, Granddad, that's a nice song. What's the name of that song? I like it. And then he looks at me and he says, I just made it up. I make them up all the time. You try it. And I was too embarrassed. I was like, I can't sing. I can't make up a song. I wouldn't do it. I was like, no. And he looks at me and he said, Chelsea, I teach you these things so that you can teach others. And at that moment, that one-liner didn't mean that much to me. I was unaware that within the next 4 weeks of his life, he was going to teach me something big. And so, as my granddad was suffering through the pain of the cancer, I had some good conversations with family members, Aunt Michelle, Uncle David. Uncle David explained to me how he had before witnessed people at their bedsides who did not know Christ, and how fearful that experience was for them, and how that changed people and made them angry and frustrated. My granddad, in his last few weeks, you'd walk into his room and he'd be like, I've been praying for you, or let's pray together, let's worship God. And the joy of the Lord was just so abounding in him. It was amazing, and there was no fear. There wasn't an ounce of fear. And within those last few weeks, my granddad taught me what it looked like to be utterly fearless. Yes. Absolutely fearless. Yes. So I'm driving to school one morning, and I decide, today I'm going to be like Granddad. I'm going to be fearless. I go to a public school, so facing a good amount of spiritual warfare, I wanted to love God unashamedly and openly, and just say his name to whoever comes up to my face. Fearlessly. And I go home at the end of the day, and I go up to Granddad's bed. I said, Granddad, I tried to be like you today, but I was too scared. I was too scared to say God's name unashamedly. And I failed. I wasn't like you. And he looked at me as much as he could at that moment. And he said, I've been afraid before. I felt fear. In that moment of complete honesty and pure humanity, I appreciated it so much. And a few days after he died, everything was kind of wrapped together in my head. And I conclude with, in the last 5 weeks of my granddad's life, he taught me that fearlessness is not the lack of fear or the denial of fear, but it is using the strength and the grace and the joy of Jesus Christ to embrace that fear and to get through it. Granddad, I hope that what you taught me, I can go on and teach other people. Thank you.
That's kind of hard to follow up. One of my favorite memories of my granddad is when we were really little. And he would come to my dad and he said, David, I need to have a serious talk with your kids. I'm going to take them with me. And he would sneak us out to go get ice cream. And sneak Judah ice cream as a baby. He wasn't supposed to have it. But one of the greatest things he taught me growing up is, never to let the things in life get you down, and his unshakable faith was such a testimony to me, and it really meant a lot. So. Yeah.
best memories I have is with me and my granddad. I used to go to his apartment and just hang out with my granddad and my nana. And we used to go and we used to play a lot of Uno. And throughout that, we played Uno almost every time I was there. And through everything that we did, just talking, and he would always just sneak in little stories, and just, he always, no matter what, he had this auto just thing of God coming. Everything he said was all just God. And, no, but these last weeks, I got to just pray with my granddad before he was, and as I was there with him and he was praying for me, I was praying to God, and I was asking him, allow me to have a heart to keep fighting, and to just be able to, through everything, through any pain or anything the world throws at me, to be able to just go in fearless. But, yeah.
Well, I have a lot of fond memories with my grandfather. Just a few weeks before he passed, I had the opportunity to go into his room and have a one-on-one time with him. And among a lot of different things that he told me, there's one thing that I will always remember. And he said, Nathan, you listen here. No matter what happens, never give up on God. Because He will never give up on you. And to me, that was so typical granddad. Every time he was so optimistic. And he never stopped fighting. He never quit. And even just when I saw him Sunday before he passed, even then laying there on his bed, he was still fighting. He was staying strong. And that was such an inspiration to me. So just those things, and among hundreds and thousands of other things, are the reason why he always has and always will be my hero. I love you, Granddad.